Hey there, welcome to the Tranquil Shop. It's currently Monday and I'm already having a very good, very productive day. I rolled out of bed, great, and one of the very first things that I did is I scheduled social media posts. Instagram, Facebook, all that. One thing I do know that I need to do is look at other social media and what sort of posts I can do for there. For example, TikTok. I'm not a very big TikTok person. If you can hear that in the background, it's my dog walking along the floor. I'm not a very big TikTok person. I use it, but I don't really have any content ideas. So that's one thing that I want to think about this week in particular. But for right now, I'm going to hop in getting working on the last thing that we were talking about last week, those sunflower square things. I didn't bring one down so I could show you just in case you weren't here last week, but I am using up a whole bunch of yellow yarn that I either don't have the yarn label to, so I have no idea what color or what brand this yarn is, or it's just a brand that has gone out of business and I can't get anymore. Using all of those yellows up, creating sunflowers out of them, and then putting those into squares and creating a whole bunch of different things with them. I'm thinking like this little mini pouch, I'm thinking like a pencil case, I'm thinking a tote bag perhaps, a few different ideas. I already created a whole bunch of brown inside circles. I know this is going to be hard to see on camera because it is quite a dark brown, but just some circles. So I'm going to crochet the yellow around this, create the sunflowers, and I will see you in a little bit to talk about the progress. So last week I made a bunch of those brown circles for the middle of the sunflowers, right? And I just kept doing them until I ran out of brown yarn in that specific skein. I still have 2 more skeins of brown yarn left, but I was just like, let's just go through an entire skein of brown yarn and then we'll see how many that will do. So I have 10 of these next to me. I'm not going to show you all 10. They all look like this, I promise. And I still have a little bit of this skein of yellow left. And then I also have 1 or 2 more skeins of a generic yellow still left to do. So I need to make more brown circles before I can do those, obviously. But I'm debating whether or not I want to do that first, or if I just want to turn all of the sunflowers that I have right now into the squares and put those together. That way we can see an actual finished project of what these are going to turn into, and then, I can make some more as I go and turn those into more of the projects. But I'm also currently trapped under a sleeping dog right now. So it is 4:16 and I think I'm just going to sit here, be trapped underneath a sleeping dog, and then later tonight when I'm not trapped, do either some more circles or make these into squares. Because when you get trapped under an animal and you can't get up, that's illegal. So I don't want to do any illegal activities. So yesterday I ran into a pretty severe problem. While I crochet, I generally tend to watch YouTube. Normally it's watching people play video games because that's something I don't have to pay my full attention to. And yesterday in particular, I was watching somebody shiny hunt in the game Pokemon Sword or Shield. I don't know which one they had, But anyway, where the problem lies is the fact that I also own a copy of the game Pokemon Sword and Shield. And while I was watching this person play it yesterday, I really wanted to play it. So I ended up at 4 o'clock, which is a pretty good time to do this. You know, like it's not the best, but at least I made it until 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I decided to put down the crochet, pulled out my video game console, and I started to play Pokemon. I did not stop playing Pokemon until 3 o'clock in the morning. It was not expected, obviously, but it was a pretty severe problem. So today, it's currently 1 o'clock. I just rolled out of bed very recently. Today, I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on crocheting, do what I'm actually supposed to do, and not playing video games. I will tell you, yesterday I ended up squaring up 8 squares. So here's how one of them is going to look. This is a 6x6 square. I was debating for a while what color I wanted the background of these squares to be, this white area, because I didn't really want to do white, just in case, let's say somebody buys this and they accidentally spill something on it, or they put it in some dirt or some mud or something, and now the white is stained. I didn't want that to happen, so I was thinking of other colors that would go good with the brown and yellow sunflower look. But ultimately, like, I'm always drawn when I see people do these sunflower squares to the ones with the white backgrounds. And I think this is just the look. Like, I think it just looks so much better when it has the white background. So I was like, fine, we'll do the white background. As for what I am going to be eventually making all these squares into, I've been going back and forth on what exactly. I do know we talked about doing a 2x2 square and doing that as a little purse, or I was also thinking like a little drawstring bag sort of thing. So there's that. And then I won't be able to show you this entire thing on camera, putting a 3x3, so 2 more layers of this as one side, doing the other side 3x3, so that's 18 squares total, and doing a tote bag based on that. I know we talked about the backpack idea, and then the other thing was the cardigan that we talked about before. I had said earlier that I wasn't sure that I was going to do one of those because while I'm trying to get through all this random yarn, all of the colors of the sunflowers are going to be different. You know, we have this one, which doesn't look too different, but you can tell on camera that this one is lighter than this one is. And then we also have this one. You know, they're all different. And if you have a cardigan that has a whole bunch of different colored sunflowers, I was worried it was going to look a little weird, a little strange. But then yesterday, as I was thinking about it, I was like, I could make it look intentional though. I mean, obviously it's going to be intentional, but I feel like I could create an artistic randomness out of all the different sunflower colors. So I might still do that. I think that one for a small cardigan though, it would take 30 squares, I believe. And that is quite a lot, so, you know, we'll see as we go how many squares that we end up with and what all that I can do. That's definitely going to be like a last project. Like, I'm going to do, when I sew these all together, I'm going to do the 2 square, I'm going to do the 18 square, I'm going to figure out the backpack, how many that needs and how exactly to do that one. And then if I still have 30 or so left over, I will make a small cardigan, just so you can see it like on my body, what it looks like, you know? And then from there, you know, people can order it from the store. And should I need to make more sunflower squares, I can always go out and buy more yellow yarn. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to get to work on squaring up all of the other sunflowers. My brain just stopped working. I have 26 more sunflowers left to go. This is 8. So let's get to work. Another thing perhaps we can talk about while I multitask, which is not something I'm very good at, but you know, why not, is that this morning as I was scrolling through social media, that's one of the first things that I do when I wake up. I put off going to bed. I put off getting out of bed by scrolling on social media for 30 minutes to an hour, let's say. And this morning I had seen somebody talking about knitting. I think they had bought a knitting pattern and they wanted to turn it into a crochet pattern, and they were asking for advice. And then that just made me look at knitting stuff and remember how I wanted to learn how to knit. Technically speaking, I know the basics of knitting, but I generally have a problem with knitting because there are 2 main stitches in knitting. There is the knit stitch and purl stitch. I'm okay with the knit stitch, but purling gives me a massive headache, and I cannot figure out why. Like, just can't figure it out. I can do it, but after a couple, I have to put it down and just lay down with my eyes closed for hours. But I still really want to try to learn how to knit, try to knit things. And so this morning I was thinking about how I can do knit stitch, right? I don't know how many projects can use only knit stitch. I don't really know anything about knitting in that sort of way, but I can knit stitch. So I was thinking maybe I should make like a scarf, let's say, something that is just knit stitch over and over and over again that will create something at the end that I can say, look, I did it. And then maybe from there I try out purling again and I see, can I do this? What is my problem with purling? What's going on? So I was thinking about that this morning, and now I really want to do that. Plus I think it's a good time in the season to make a scarf because it's getting colder, you know. One thing that I want to do eventually, why am I doing double crochet? This is supposed to be triple. One thing that I want to do after I do all of these sunflowers is learn how to make mittens so that I can add those into the store. I have hats, I have scarves, but I don't have anything for like hands. So I wanted to learn how to make mittens, and then also I was looking up like cute mitten designs, something that like isn't just a basic mitten. And there I saw this one that was like a goose, looks like a goose, and I thought that was super cute and I want to make one of those. And it's like I just want to finish these granny squares. I don't know, I'm not at the point now where I'm like I'd rather do literally anything else than granny squares, which I get sometimes working on big projects. I'm like, I need to do literally anything else because I'm so tired of this project. The cardigan, for example. But it's like I have such a long list of things that I want to work on after I finish these granny squares that it's getting kind of overwhelming thinking about all of them and trying to remember all of them. I don't want to write them down because the list will be too long. I don't want to see a physical manifestation of that list. But also, like, I kind of need to write it down so that I can see everything that I want to do and just put it into perspective, I guess. I didn't realize it was after 5 p.m. I was just crocheting, doing my thing, and all of a sudden I'm like, what time is it? I haven't seen the time in a while. 5:30. Interesting. Today I only did 4. Oh, you can barely see that one. 4 granny squares. But to be fair, we had a little bit of a late start to the day. I could also consider like adding a little bit more time because we had that late start, and then plus yesterday we only crocheted until 4 instead of 5. But I don't want to go too crazy because I have terrible time management skills, which basically means if I do something and I don't stop myself at 5, I'm going to be doing it until midnight or 3 a.m. So I think I'm going to stop it for now, go do other things, and then tomorrow hopefully we'll get back to the wake up earlier in the morning and do at least 8 squares. Okay, so Thursday, I forgot. Well, I didn't really forget that I was leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday. I forgot that the day before would have a lot of planning for leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So Thursday was entirely me like packing and doing like last minute little things to make myself ready for leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning. And so I didn't crochet anything. But over the weekend was my birthday. I did a 25% off like birthday sale on the day of my birth, Saturday. And so when I came back today, Sunday, I had to crochet a little bit because one of the things that had sold, I sold more product than I had like on hand. Like everything that I crochet is rather small, you know, so if I sell more than what I actually have, it's not going to take me that long to crochet it. So I spent a little bit of today doing that, crocheting that little tiny, it was a witch's hat out of the Halloween collection specifically. But otherwise, like, today is Sunday, so I shouldn't even be recording for this video anyway. I just kind of wanted to update you on how I didn't crochet anything Thursday, because I was setting up, getting ready. Friday I left at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to my cousin's wedding. Saturday was my birthday and the wedding. And then Sunday, today, was just driving back up here and crocheting a little bit, but nothing that I videoed. Anyway, since it is the end of the week, I'm going to end this video here because we ran out of days this week and there's nothing else left to talk about. So, thank you for watching this video. If you have seen anything interesting that you would like to see a little bit more of, you can check out our website, triangleshop.com. Trying to think, I'm pretty sure I'm still working on the sunflowers in this video because they're not done yet in real life. So the sunflowers won't be up on the store by the time that you watch this video, but everything else will be that I sell in the store. So check out the store, thetriangleshop.com, if you'd like some crochet items for yourself or would like to just support me in particular. My birthday was soon. You can always buy something for yourself as a little birthday present for me. I don't mind if it's belated. And otherwise, I hope to see you in next week's video as I talk about what I am crocheting next week. And I hope I'll see you there. Awkward ending, sorry.